and welcome to episode 103 of the Heartland Knits podcast. My name is Vicki, but you can find me as Heartland Knits on Ravelry and Instagram, and today is Sunday, April 19th, 2015. Just wanted to add to that, if you're on Instagram, my account says it's private, but if you follow me, I will follow you back. It always surprises me when people don't do that, but so as long as you have something kind of in the description as that you're a knitter, it's just to kind of keep the strange people away. So come follow me if you don't already. Let's just get right into the knitting. I think I will start out with showing you the shawl that I showed you I had started last week. And it's going to be hard to see because it's on a straight needle, but this is the shawl that I'm just kind of making up as I go along out of this spindle spun yarn. This was fiber that a friend dyed for me, and I spindle spun it last summer. And I don't know, there's just something about knitting with hand spun, but especially spindle spun. A lot of my hand spun just gets put on the shelf, but the spindle spun usually gets knit. So I started a little shawl out of it. It's a gradient. And I think I was just kind of down to like here the last time. So I knit a little bit farther, and you can see how the the gradient, it's spindle spun, so it's varied and stuff, which I really like. And you can see that I'm still in the darkest color. I keep thinking of the next time I come to the little lace section, I'll be in the lighter color, and it just never happens. But you can see sort of it's got kind of alternating bands of this lace pattern and then stockinette. So I'm on just about ready to start the third kind of lacy repeat. So, just it's kind of nice, soothing, knitting. So that I did a fair amount. I tried to knit on that a little bit every day. And then I started a new project. So, and I have it in this basket here. So Friday was my birthday, and I bought myself a little yarny present. I've been talking about it kind of since, actually, I think before Christmas. I've been talking about, I saw this pattern for these mittens. They're called the Sweet Nectar knits, but they're really pretty. They have this little hummingbird on one hand and a flower on the other. And this is a pattern from Tanis Fiber Arts, and they have a kit to go along with it. So I bought the kit, and I got kind of the hard copy pattern with the yarn. If you just want the pattern, it's for sale, a PDF on Ravelry. So this is the outside. They're stranded, and then on the inside, I don't know if I can put that picture in. You can see it's got a lining, and then so if I just bought whole skeins of something, it would get to be quite pricey. So I bought the original colors that it's shown in. There is several other color combinations that they've put together that you can buy the kit in. So this is just their regular natural, and this is iris, which it's a little bit brighter than that, but you can see it's very jewel toned, lots of purples and pinks and like a violet-y color. And then this is the inside. I thought it would be a little bit brighter. It seems a little lighter than I was thinking, but it's still a pretty kind of melon color to go with those. So I wound those up, and I just started on the cuff. So I have this much done, and it's knitting up really nice. Like I said, it's her what is it, her Yellow Label DK, which it feels lighter than a DK to me, but I did a couple starts on this yesterday, just because I wasn't really sure what needles I wanted to use, and I think I finally settled on 3mm. The gauge on these is 7 stitches to the inch, which if you watch me knit other mittens, I usually knit them much tighter than that, but it's got that inner lining, so that's like a double thickness. She's from Canada, so I figure she knows, warm mittens are kind of a necessary thing. So, but it's knitting up, really, really pretty, and it's was just a fun little thing. I was thinking that I would, it arrived like early in the week, and my birthday was Friday, and so I was thinking, oh, I'm going to wind it up and cast on Friday, and that'll be really fun. And then, so I didn't open it until Friday, just for something to open. And it was this, I looked at this really, saturated jewel toned yarn and thought, kind of had a flashback to the whole Gourmet Stash hand spun debacle where it, bled all over. And I thought of these, mittens and the kind of the blue and purple running on the white, and thought I wasn't going to take any chances. I never had any yarn from them before. So before I wound it, with the skein, I soaked it to make sure that the color was set, and it was perfectly set. It was just, it was worth kind of my peace of mind. I thought I could, instead of catching on Friday, I cast on yesterday. So I read through the whole pattern, and it's really crystal clear, and it's, in my idea, kind of how patterns should be written, not a lot of extraneous stuff. So I really like it. I did do a couple little bit different things when I was knitting, starting it, not because there was anything like wrong in the pattern, but just because I think there's like a point where there are things that you learn in a class, or you read in a book, or you read in a magazine article or something, and then when you have the pattern, if you want to, you just put those methods and techniques into practice. It doesn't necessarily have to be like actually written in the pattern. So it's got a hem here. And so what I did, instead of leaving, just casting on and, knitting and leaving that to sew up later, I provisionally cast on, and with a smaller size needle, so that when it tucks up in, it's a little bit, it folds in a little bit easier. And then when I came along, so I did so many rows on the bottom edge, did this little turning thing for the picot, and then did the same amount of rows on the top. And then I was going to, instead of having to sew that down, I just knit it together, my provisional cast on stitches and the stitches here. And sometimes when you do that, you can get a little, it like dimples in. And so I have learned that if you use a needle larger than what you're using for the rest of the fabric, it prevents that little dimpling in. So it would be hard to see it anyway because of kind of the variegated nature of the yarn. But anyway, that is my new cast on. And then I have something off the needles, and it's using a yarn that you don't see me using very often. And it's using this yarn, which is a Lion brand. It's the Baby Soft. in this kind of lavender, it's called lavender color. And that's because you'll probably be hearing on this on a lot of podcasts, but Corey, my friend Corey, Knits, her daughter is doing a project for high school, her capstone project, and she is collecting the purple baby hats, the Click for Baby hats. And so I don't often knit with acrylic yarn, but it seemed like a worthy cause. So I knit a little baby hat. And I have didn't make a dent in this skein of yarn, so I will probably be knitting a few more over the next couple weeks. And I just actually finished it off, like put the ends in and stuff this morning, but I didn't have time to sew this on. I'm gonna put this little button. It's a little pansy, and put that kind of on the top. I thought that would be really sweet on the top of there. So just a little baby hat. I was surprised that I don't usually like using acrylic yarn because it doesn't have very much elasticity, and it's not a pleasant knitting experience. And this is 50% or 60% acrylic, 40% nylon, but it's a sport weight. So I don't know if it's that it was a sport weight and closer kind of to the size yarn that I usually enjoy knitting with. I don't knit all that much with worsted weight yarn anyway. So there is that. But it really was not totally unpleasant to knit with. Maybe because of the extra nylon or what, it was fine to knit with. So if you need to knit with acrylic, this isn't bad. So I have one little finished project. So for Imagiknitting, I've been doing a fair amount of that this week, and it all started. Well, it's something that I love to knit anyway, but it all started with my friend Anne Marie, who went to Finland over Easter. It was a trip she'd always wanted to take, and she went with her daughter. And during that week, she was posting all these really great pictures from there, and then she kind of did a report back of, like kind of the yarny sort of stuff, because she's a knitter. And she told this story about how there was some museum, I'm not sure what it was, but they had to take the train to get to it. And she said it wasn't like a big town that they stopped at. The train kind of stopped, and that was their stop to get off. But it was not much around there, just a road you walked down, and that was like a house. That was the museum. And so they were walking that way, and they saw this mitten laying on the side of the road. And so they picked it up and were looking at it and took pictures of it and stuff. And then, kind of laid it right back where they found, thinking, well, somebody lost it. Somebody's going to be searching for a mitten. Because it was Easter, it was nice, pretty nice here, but it looked like it was colder there still. So they went and spent the day kind of away at the museum, and then they were walking back, and she said, if that mitten is still there, I'm going to take it home, because nobody missed it, or it was on the side of the road, and it was kind of like dirty and stained and well used. So it was still laying in the exact same place where they put it, so she brought it back, and so she was sent pictures of it, which I'm going to show you. It got me all excited. All I want to knit are mittens. It's something I like to knit anyway, but so this is the mitten that she found. I hope that it will show up, but you can see how pretty it is. There's three colors. So I asked her the little dots kind of in the middle of the little roses. is that duplicate stitched in or actually knitted in? She said it's actually knitted in. So they were beautiful. It was beautifully knit. And there's a lot of stuff I love about it. I love like this, like across the top, like how she kind of lengthened the top out. And you can tell this is the start of the mitten because there you can see sort of the jog in the color work. And she said that it's actually done. There's um, a purl row right in there, and that is to kind of disguise the jog. I still see the jog, but did you notice? Did you notice? So here's the beginning of the round, and there's the thumb up there, the beginning of the round. It's on the karate chop side of the hand. I feel totally vindicated by this Finnish knitter. Um, that is one change that I did with the hummingbird mitten is I changed the start of the hand. It's going to be or the start of the round is going to be on the outside side of the hand. So I am totally like fascinated by these and said if she charts that up, she's been on Ravelry and like in the groups from Finland and saying do you know this mitten pattern or anything. So she is doing like research on like trying to find this mitten. And then she also talked about buying one of these kits that come from Finland. And years ago I really wanted to get one, but I could never decide because they were all so pretty. I could never decide like which one or which ones to order. So I never did. But now I really want to. And now they have more than they did before. So it's even like a harder choice. But this is one of them that I think I really want to get. I hope it's gonna. Um, but it's got snowdrops on the mittens. How beautiful is that? They have tulip ones. They have all kinds of really pretty ones. And the yarn for these is all naturally dyed. Like the pinks are done with cochineal, and the greens are done with like a mushroom, some kind of a mushroom. And these come from Finland. It's Rithvilla. I'm gonna just let you look at that. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but um, I I think that one of those kits is definitely going to be coming this direction. I think this summer, all I want to knit are mittens. It would be really fun. Don't you think? So for show and tell, I did show you the new yarny thing that I got for my birthday because it was Friday. Wednesday I had to go to the dentist. And I was kind of dreading my birthday, not because of like age thing, it just that last year it was a really, really hard day. And looking back, it sort of almost seems to me that's kind of where um, like my depression, like from all last summer, kind of started then. So I was not really looking forward to it. So I kind of tried to fill up that week with lots of things. I went and got my hair cut. I went to the dentist, just like cleaning, regular stuff. But so when I was there, it was just, it was a beautiful day. The whole week was really nice. We had weather in the 60s and it was just beautiful and sunny and I got out to walk. But when I went to the dentist, it just was like a weird thing. There was this little robin that kept pecking on the window. It just kept pecking and pecking and pecking. And we tried, they had kind of blinds that kind of block out the sun. So I thought, well, maybe it's like seeing its reflection. So kind of raised those up so that it didn't, um, wouldn't see its reflection. It still kept doing it. So I don't know. I took it as a sign that it was just so weird. And they're like, it's like never done that. So then after I was finished there, I had a couple other errands to run on that side of town, and I thought I'll stop at the outlet mall because I don't have, I have a teacup collection. It's not a huge teacup collection. Maybe there's, I don't know that I've even counted. Maybe a dozen, maybe a few more than a dozen. I'm not even sure. I don't get them all the time. I sort of, if I've gotten some when I've traveled somewhere, I've gotten some for presents, and there have been whole years where I haven't gotten one at all. It's not about getting as many as I can. It's just about getting like the ones that kind of speak to me at a certain time. And I spent a long time looking for the perfect pink depression glass one, and I have, one of the Russian ones, and so I thought, well, I'll just like walk around in there and see if I see a teacup. And so usually you see, the kind of vintage teacups. Some of mine are vintage, some of them are brand new, but most of the time they're floral, like floral patterns and stuff. So I was looking around and I saw like this one. It had like blue and white on it, and kind of, picked it up and was looking at, like turn it over to see where the maker was and stuff. And then I looked inside of it, and there's bluebirds on it. So they're inside of the teacup and they're also on the saucer. So I'll hold that up, hopefully. So there's like little bluebirds flying, and this is Coalport, China. It's from England. It's I looked them up because I didn't have anything by this maker, and so I just had to have it, and I really love the shape of it. I have one other teacup kind of with this kind of shallow shape, but I love it. It's really nice weight to it, and it's really like a weight. The famous pattern by this maker is the willow. So anyway, a teacup with birds on it. I took that as a sign too. So I had one other birthday present that arrived, and it arrived on Friday. So let me get that. So I love shoes. And today is the 19th. 4 years ago tonight, we had a blizzard. I remember well. It was April 19th, 2011, because that's the night I ended up in the ER. I thought I was having a heart attack. They found out it was not a heart attack at all, and it's where the whole cancer journey started. So, kind of as a combination, like birthday, and I have lived for 4 years when there were people that didn't expect me to. I bought myself a new pair of shoes. So whether I'm going to keep them is still kind of up in the air. So I've been looking, my favorite shoes, the Fluvogs, and I've been looking, and I was expecting to buy a certain pair. And then when I was going to order them, I kind of went through and looked at all of them. And there was a new style that came out this spring. And I pulled up to see if they had, how my size. Because when it gets to there's 3 left, it shows up on the website there's 3 left, there's 2 left, it counts down. And they don't have like a warehouse. When you order off of their website, they're actually pulled from a store in the US. So that meant it came up that there were 2 pair left in the US. So I changed my mind quickly and I ordered them because I just thought I don't think I could live without them. So these are my shoes. These are like a floral leather. They're called the Kendra, and they are like so pretty. And then on the side, they this is like a cream patent leather, and I'll take that out so you can see that they're like, it's like a cut down and a V there. They are so beautiful, and on the family of this style of shoe is called Elegant Conversations, and on the bottom it says, "Listen loudly, speak softly," which is like me. It's like they're perfect shoes, almost. So, how these are all made by hand. They have a video on the Flubog website where you can see how these shoes are made. They're made in Peru, and I think it's like after you watch that video, you're like, why don't they're expensive shoes, but you look at the video and you think, why don't those shoes cost $500? Because they're from the outset, they're cut out by hand and sewn by hand, and everything that is done is just incredible. So their leather, it's because you can see in the video, it's like a great big piece of leather, of like floral leather, just like you would have like a floral material for whatever. It just kind of is dependent on where the pieces are cut, is how the pattern shows up on the shoe. So I've seen a few people posting that they have or like trying the shoes on, or have, having bought the shoes, wearing the shoes, and they're always a little bit different because it's just where the pattern pieces are put on, because they're all cut out by hand. So I knew that they're not going to be exactly matching, and that's fine. So you know where this is going. So this is my one shoe. This is my other shoe. It's like totally different. This one has like this kind of bright magenta-y like flower, and this one has like really, really like bright pink. So when you're looking down on your feet, it looks like you're wearing kind of 2 different shoes. The heel on this one is the bright pink. It just looks like totally different. It does have the blue, but it's like on the side. So I don't know if you're like this, but when a lot of times when I get dressed, I will think, what shoes should I put on? And I'll put one of each shoe and just kind of like, should I wear those or should I wear those? And my fear is like someday walking out of the house with 2 different shoes on. And that's kind of how these make me feel. But I love them. But they're so, so different. So I think they might have to go back. That is about all that I have. I thank you all for watching and for coming over to the Ravelry group, which is Friends of Heartland Knits. We have a giveaway going on for a few more weeks till it runs till the end of April, but I will probably let it open till this Sunday, like 2 weeks from now, when I record in May. So, but come on over and you might win. And I guess that's all. I feel like I had something else to say, but now I don't remember what it was. I was looking at those shoes again. They get me all like. So anyway, Friday was a much better day than last year, which was great. And Friday was, the weather was extraordinary. It was 75 and sunny, and I worked out in the garden a little bit. I bought some pansies and I planted them in flower pots. I didn't plant them. The garden, I kind of raked out the leaves and the old plants, but it's still too wet to kind of walk on the ground. You compress it too much. But I sat on the porch and knit, and that's kind of when I knit the little baby hat, which it made me feel good to be doing something like for somebody else. So I made banana cream pie. So it was a much better day than last year. So that was good. Um, so anyway, I hope you all have a really good week. We're going to be back down into the 40s, 50s, and the 40s. So it's April. But thank you all so much for watching. And until I see you next week, from my heart to yours, happy knitting.